Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about game fours from last night's NBA playoff schedule. And I don't even know if the first game that everybody witnessed last night was a game because it was pretty much a debacle, and that is the game that I'm going to dive into. There was only two games last night, so this is relatively going to be a quick video. Won't be a show today. This will be a video. So, Cleveland Cavaliers sweep the Miami Heat 4-0 after being up by as many as 60 points in last night's game. And let me tell you, before I get into the statistics, this was just a this was hard to watch. It was very hard to watch the Miami Heat get eviscerated, obliterated, whatever adjective you want to use. That is exactly what the Miami Heat experienced last night. An annihilation, or whatever word you want to use. That was downright awful last night. And you could see it in the first 3 minutes of the game. The first 3 minutes of the game, well, not even the first 3 minutes. I'm going to say in the first minute and a half of the game, because Miami Heat, they won the tip to start the game off. And then first three possessions, it was back to back to back turnovers for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were up within just 3 minutes of the game. Cleveland was up 17-5. Really? When have you ever heard a score like that when it comes to the Miami Heat? That's when I said, okay, this game might be a blowout. And then at halftime, I was pretty much done with this game. I really was. Because it's like there's no reason that a team is supposed to be playing this bad. We know that you have significant deficiencies in every category, but at least keep the game respectable and competitive. Now, do y'all see? I haven't even gotten to the statistics for all the players for the Cavaliers or the Heat, because that is just how bad it was. And let me tell you, as far as the arena concerned, when the Cavaliers were up 45, you could hear a pin drop in that arena. I have never heard Casse Arena so quiet. Even when the Heat had their arena name the American Airlines Arena. I've never heard it that quiet. So what the Miami Heat need to do, first, before I say what the Miami Heat need to do, I'm going to go into statistics. So, Cavaliers, they had a very efficient night. I already know that it was a blowout. So, Evan Mobley, 17 points. Jared Allen, 14 points. Donovan Mitchell, 22 points. Max Strus, 3 points. Sam Morrell, 9 points. And then, the Cavaliers bench production, that they had an A+ performance last night. Dean Wade, 5 points. Chamuka Akeke, 0 points. Jalen Tyson, 6 points. DeAndre Hunter, 19 points. Isaiah Orko, 6 points. Tristan Thompson, 4 points. Ty Jerome, 18 points. Javante Green, 11 points. Yes, Javante Green, 11 points. Craig Porter Jr., 11 points. Darius Garland did not play. He is nursing a left toe injury. And for the Miami Heat, Andrew Wiggins, 12 points. Bam Adebayo, 13 points. Khalil Ware, 2 points. Davion Mitchell, 8 points. Tyler Hero, 4 points. Heat bench production, Duncan Robinson, 0 points. Haywood Highsmith, 2 points. Keyshawn Johnson, 2 points. Nikola Vucevic, Nikola Djokovic, 24 points. Kyle Anderson, 0 points. Jamie Jaquez Jr., 4 points. Pelly Larson, 12 points. Kevin Love, Alec Burke, Terry Rozier did not play because Kevin Love not with the team. Alec Burke coach's decision, and Terry Rozier is nursing a left ankle sprain. I'm not. Here's the statistics for last night's game. Even though a lot of you witnessed last night's game, I'm not even gonna go through the team stats. I'm not gonna bore y'all to death when it comes to these statistics because we already know that the statistics are in overwhelming favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, my final take for the Cleveland Cavaliers and Miami Heat before I go to the next game. For the Cavaliers, we projected that they would be the one of the top 5 teams in the East, but we didn't expect for them to be the top team in the East. And I mean, just giving out beatdowns because this was a beatdown because it got to the point where the game was so far out of hand that I was covering last night's game. I basically called this game over with 3 minutes into the third quarter. And here it is. I go on Twitter, well X now, and I see the trend for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and here it is. My video that I did, and I posted it on X, got over 200 people watching it, and that was just in the first 10 minutes. So nobody was intrigued by this game last night. Organizational, this was a organizational wake up call. That's what I'm going to say with the Miami Heat. You got to get more star power on your team if you're the Miami Heat. Cleveland Cavaliers, you all are going to the next round, so I'm not going to talk about y'all anymore in this video. The Miami Heat, you got to work on team star power. You got to get you got to get you got to you have got to improve more in all facets of your team. Bench production, star power, and when it comes to having big men, because Bam Adebayo, he is okay, but you need consistent scores. You need somebody who can go find their shot, not somebody that has to come off of screens and picks, excuse me, when it comes to trying to score. Now, Duncan Robinson, he's the type of player that he has to come off of screens and picks in order to find his rhythm when it comes to making shots and scoring. So, like I said, Miami Heat, they did lead at one point in this game last night. I don't know how in the world they led, but it was early in the game, like in the first. I don't even know where their lead came in at. I just don't, because first three possessions were turnovers. Cleveland had a lead, and then outside of that, it was just crickets in Cachet Arena. So don't really know what to say. Miami Heat fans this morning, I'm pretty sure the South Beach Herald is probably saying organizational wake up call, have to get this team revamped. And I believe I've been saying this all throughout the regular season that the Miami Heat, as far as Heat culture, is Heat culture dead? Who knows? But to build back the Heat culture, you got to get legitimate players. You cannot have players, you cannot have players averaging 10 points here, 12 points here, 20 points here, and thinking that you're going to be able to compete in the East with the upper echelon teams. You're not going to be able to do that. So, all the Miami fans, all the Miami Heat fans out there, you just have to take this one on the chin, come back next season, and try and do better. And that's all I have for the Cavaliers and the Heat series. The Cavaliers, they will play the winner of the Indiana Pacers and Milwaukee Bucks series. Whoever wins out of that, I believe when they play their first game, it will be either Saturday, Friday, or Saturday. I'm not sure yet because the Pacers they are still playing against the Milwaukee Bucks, and they have a 3-1 lead. Game 5 is tonight. Game 5 is tonight. So hopefully the Indiana Pacers can go on ahead and take care of business so we can see the Cavaliers and the Pacers. Now, that is going to be a good series. Now, the next the next series I'm going to talk about is one that's been intriguing. Every game has been intriguing, and no more about whether the Houston Rockets can contend with the Golden State Warriors, because they can. Now, what I can tell you is every game in this series, I'm going to tell you every game in this series, the Rockets, they have been within striking distance. And you can see in the first 4 games, they have all been there. They have either been tied or the Rockets have either been behind or tied with the Golden State Warriors at 3 points in this series. And all 4 games they have been tied at least 3 times in the game. So the Houston Rockets, they are not that far off. But like I've been saying throughout this series and even before the series started, this series was playoff experience versus youth. And playoff experience has the upper hand right now in terms of the Golden State Warriors. So now, here is the players from last night for the Houston Rockets. Amen Thompson, 17 points. Dylan Brooks, 11 points. Alperen Sengun, 31 points. Fred VanVleet, 25 points. Jalen Green, 8 points. Now, let me tell y'all something about Jalen Green. Jalen Green, he is a superstar, and he is a scorer. He can average 25 to 30 points each game. But one thing, he has got to diversify his game. And what I mean by diversify his game is he's got to stop falling in love with his jump shot. Because some nights, like last night, the jump shot is not always going to be there. See, with Jalen Green, it's just, with him, his game is just, jump shot after jump shot after jump shot. But in a game like this, the Rockets, they could have easily won this game. And let's say Jalen Green had 8 points last night, but if he has 18 or 19 points, more than likely the Houston Rockets win. And let me tell you, as far as field goal percentage, shooting percentage, he was 3 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 5 from the 3-point line, and 1 of 3 from the free throw line. So his plus minus was minus 11. So Jalen Green, and I hate to say this because he is the leader of the Rockets franchise, there are some times where he doesn't give the Rockets any value when he's on the floor. And what I mean by that, I'm going back to his style of play. He is just a jump shoot taker and a jump shoot maker. But sometimes when your shot is not going in, you have to find other ways to impact the game. Maybe with assists, maybe getting in the paint, maybe packing it in the paint. But you cannot miss four straight shots and think that you can just shoot more jump shots when you are in a shooting slump. So last night, Jalen Green was in a shooting slump, and that is what really hurt the Houston Rockets. Now, bench production for the Houston Rockets, pretty much, the bare minimum. They did the bare minimum. Jabari Smith, 6 points. Terry Eason, 3 points. Steven Adams, 5 points. And then you had 6 players that did not play because of either coach's decision or because of some type of injury. The Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors have always been that one team that you are going to have to buckle up, and you know that it is going to be a knockout, drag out fight. We saw it last night. Draymond Green, 6 points. Jimmy Butler, 27 points. Steph Curry, he had a quiet night with 17 points. Buddy Hield, 15 points. Brandon Podzaskimi, 26 points. Warriors bench production. Kevon Looney, 0 points. Trey Jackson Davis, 0 points. Guy Santos, 0 points. Quentin Post, 13 points. Gary Payton II, 2 points. Moses Moody, 3 points. Jonathan Kuminga, Braxton Key. Kevin Knox II, Pat Spencer did not play because of coach's decision. Game 5 is tomorrow night in H-Town. So we are going to learn a lot from what the Houston Rockets can do in saving their season and pushing this series to a 6th game. Can they do it? It remains to be seen. But if I'm the Warriors, I have a 3-1 lead. The next game, in the series as soon as possible. That's what I would think. And let me tell you, the Warriors, they have already won a game on the Rockets' home floor in this series. So they have so much confidence going into Houston and trying to get another win and keeping the Rockets at home in Houston. So that's all I see from the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. And with that, those are my reactions to Game 4 of the Cavs Heat series and the Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors series. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. I am about to go on Instagram and dive right into these same 2 games on Instagram. And as of right now, we are doing an expansion on YouTube and Instagram. So right here on YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe to Key Time Sports on YouTube, and go on over to my Instagram show, Key City Sports on Instagram. And remember, everybody, one last thing. The key is always on time.